Hey neighbor, it's been a while, but you're entering the world of Problems I Have With, a series I started more than half a decade ago. I try to really have a reason behind any of the ones I do make, since you probably noticed that they only come out maybe once or twice a year at this point, but our target today has a kill shot painted all over his face, with so many points worth bringing up, I could have stretched this into a documentary-length expose. Not going that route though, not worth it for my sanity, but today we're talking about Colson Baker, or as you know him, Machine Gun Kelly. The guy's been in the spotlight since the early 2010s, and with the sheer amount of metaphorical and literal punches he's dodged, it's like taking a massive dump where you have to keep flushing, yet there he is, still clinging to relevance by whatever stunt he decides to pull next. Before we get into it, I just wanted to say that while I'm going to be sharing a lot of very hardline opinions here, I promise I don't want you to feel like an awful person if you enjoy the guy's music. But I've been wanting to tear into MGK in a dedicated Problems episode for years now, and his actions so far in this decade have my blood boiling to the point of no return. Do me a favor and like this video, grab your popcorn before taking to the comments, I'm sure that's gonna get interesting, and subscribe or else Machine Gun Karen will be having a word with your supervisor. As defined by the dictionary, a poser is a person who acts in an affected manner to impress others. Or to put it bluntly for MGK, an idiot who exaggerates the fuck out of everything he says or does in order to look as cool as possible at all times.
For your information, this is how deep people dress.
Yeah, deeply affected people.
If he shot a free throw, he'd call it a half-court shot, nothing but net. If he met an artist he loves, he'll turn a simple exchange of, hey, what's up, into a podcast-length tale of weed, limos, and spontaneous stargazing. Obviously, that one was a made-up amalgamation of actual shit he said, but the point stands. Machine Gun Kelly is a textbook case of poseritis. But I do know the man's backstory, and the hustle to come from nothing is remarkable in and of itself. It's a one in a million type of thing, and I'm not here to argue or say that he's never made a good song, or that he doesn't deserve anything, because that take ain't it either. It's what he's done with his fame that irks the ever-living fuck out of me. He started off as a jackass referencing Wild Boy that ramped and attracted all the bros that were just coming of age around 2012's Lace Up. And while I wasn't exactly impressed with that era, I guess it actually felt more like a real representation of his moral compass, his hometown, his roots. Things changed pretty quickly as he navigated a few light controversies, including some tweets from this time period that, jokes or not, are very concerning in hindsight and have not aged well. But by the time we arrived at Bloom just a few short years later, his soul was out the window for a few radio hits with the likes of Camila Cabello and James Arthur. MGK loves to keep his name up in lights. It's what keeps him thriving. And if the music isn't speaking loud enough, which it rarely does, his antics start making the headlines instead, with the whole I don't give a fuck attitude actually being the product of a badly fractured ego that's taken countless lashings, and for good reason. He started letting shitty behavior and inflammatory comments be his guiding star, and a wise man he is not. Colson Baker is an attention seeker whose marketing strategy for music relies on calling out stars much brighter than him, and doing the equivalent of loudly banging on metal trash cans at 3 a.m. to remind us that, hey, I smoke weed, I hate oldly weird bearded men in masks, and I can't stop shoving my tongue down my super hot girlfriend's throat. Oh my god, guys, did you see MGK and Travis Barker at the VMAs? He's 31, and I think Travis is in his mid-40s, but oh my god, they were in the bathroom making out with their, rich millionaire partner girlfriends. They're so crazy and relatable and spontaneous. I love seeing aging rich millionaires pretending to be teenagers to attract young Zoomers on TikTok. Growing up, did you ever have that one kid in class that just had to be the best at everything? Or even someone who just inserted themselves into every conversation, claiming that they were also super into whatever you were talking about? Pokemon, caught 'em all. Dirt bike riding, they've got a track in the backyard. Exotic animals, they've got a motherfucking python living in a glass tank in the garage. I'm convinced that MGK recharges his batteries at night by reminding himself of how many times he's trended on social media. Again, for almost anything but the music he makes. What was that ancient saying? A jack of all trades is a master of none? The man is clueless, but also completely aware at the same time. I genuinely think he knows exactly what he's doing by proclaiming to be so passionate about the music and then barely being able to hold it together on stage while playing guitar, or by dissing Eminem, which gave him an excuse to leave hip-hop behind since most in that world couldn't stand him, or at the absolute best, they considered him to be utterly forgettable. MGK is a rapper, singer, guitarist, actor, softball star. Whatever his agent blows smoke up his ass for, he's convinced he's a killer born to do that exact thing. The problem with picking up a fat stack of hobbies comes in trying to pull off something only a master chef can properly handle, swapping effortlessly between dishes with all of them coming out just as tasty as they were meant to.
Oh, fuck! Ah, shit!
I wish he would stop surrounding himself with yes men, or even being the yes man, the hype man to himself. Love him or hate him, MGK is capable of decent enough music and even solid acting. I didn't think he ruined that Motley Crue movie or anything. Maybe if he focused most of his energy on a couple of things instead of literally being weed, we'd see less lashing out about what kind of shoes Rockstar should be wearing and more actual artistic integrity instead of just being loud to cover up a lack of talent. Whoa, babe, hold my rings, Doc Martens, Gucci sweater, this copy of Nirvana's Nevermind, and my black tongue dye. I just caught this dude fucking liking your pics on Instagram. I'm about to go fuck him up, haha. Magicians never reveal their secrets, and they often divert your attention so you don't notice how they're pulling off these insane tricks, and to me, that's exactly what Coulson does. Except you can see through the smoke and mirrors, except he has an entire team helping him pull it off, except his diversions aren't so much cool tricks as they are failed social experiments. Flashy, shiny explosions of interest only work out for so long before you're chased out of town, and I already think it's really weird that MGK is in his early 30s and pretending to go through an emo phase for the clout. He straight up reeks of wanting to be a leader without a single trace of an idea on how to actually pay respects to those that paved the way for him to be a professional fucking idiot. Look to moves made by bands he seems to look up to like Nirvana. Kurt Cobain wasn't interested in cashing in a paycheck off of his struggle, nor was the band crying out for attention with the wild experiments they put on display in a music video like Heart-Shaped Box. I feel like I need to remind people that when grunge, pop punk, and emo took off in the 90s and 2000s, this shit and the fashion looks behind it were not done for the sake of looking cool. In fact, you were almost guaranteed to get bullied or at the very least attract negative comments if you openly expressed love for that stuff. But now MGK and a buttload of other coattail riders are out here profiting off of the mentality behind I'm so sad, but hey, look at this grungy outfit I'm wearing. That does nothing more than steal from the past without having to pay the sacrifice, because that scene is totally normal now. And most of the time, these are expensive as hell designer clothes made the lip tattered or whatever. It's done for the sake of buzzworthy aesthetics over originality or genuine expression. Remember that episode of The Office where they showed Dwight through the years trying to get people to recycle by dressing up as Recyclops?
Recyclops will have his revenge!
All Recyclops wanted to do was to get people to recycle, which is fantastic for plastics, glass, and, physical things, but MGK made a career out of recycling the past. And I would've fucking gotten away with it too if it wasn't for that meddling critic. Rap fans didn't really want Machine Gun Kelly, which gave him the perfect excuse to call himself an outsider, which unfortunately played right into his brand. But what if he went to a space that was primed for a comeback? Pop punk and rock and roll all day, baby!
Until the next genre, that is.
All the kids right now are living for shallow-ass songs about anxiety with the depth of a goldfish bowl, so why not milk the ever-living fuck out of it, act like you're the savior of a genre, and take Blink-182's drummer along for the nostalgia ride? Yeah! What is going on with Travis Barker these days? I have to wonder what people who have known him for decades think about him embracing the fuck out of these hack clones, who in turn act like moles and then spawn their own even less unique clones. Recycling ideas with nostalgia is up for debate, of course. I know a lot of people who really did enjoy Tickets to My Downfall, and even some who are loving what he's doing in the Born with Horns era, although the latter of those I'll absolutely drag to the grave as you being wrong. I know the general population doesn't give a fuck, or better yet, probably doesn't even realize that MGK MGK is creatively bankrupt and relies on everyone else to carry him across the finish line, and that's fine. It's normal. I'm not gonna lose sleep at night because people like his music and don't see how derivative he can be, but all I ask, if you're gonna jam out to Kelly, at least treat him like a gateway drug and get hooked on something stronger ASAP. The man is a fucking leech, you know? Like a parasite that just latches on to suck a little bit of relevance off of the teat. Is it for clout, deep-rooted insecurity, or maybe it's just something to give him all those wild tales that happen naturally to actual rock stars? But MGK, never the conformer, he takes this fun route of hiring his posse to stage things for him so that one day people can respond with, "Cool story, bro," as they inch their way out of the room. Dude, and then I kicked the fucking window out of the limo. Like, dude, we were so fucking lit, dude. How did this shit even happen? Haha, dude, we're so fucking crazy. Also, this is a cheap shot, but I'm just gonna repeat something my fiance said as a joke. Machine Gun Kelly doesn't deserve that hairline. I got no room to talk, and guys, I don't care that he was losing his hair at 23 or that he paid a shitload of money to get it transplanted. That's not the problem. I'm just saying, it's kind of ironic that his hairlines are as inauthentic as everything else he stands for. He's a crumpled up piece of plastic that keeps getting picked up by celebrities off the side of the highway while they're doing their court-ordered community service. The man really needs to learn how to pick his battles and grow the hell up. It's embarrassing watching him trying to start fights with fans after getting booed at his own shows because he's taking shots at massive rock stars. He never learns. Eminem kicked him to 10 buck too, and he just keeps walking back into the ring with no protection. Machine Gun Kelly is the epitome of everything I can't stand about attention seekers in the music business. Entitled, shallow, insanely overrated, and two-faced, I don't get why so many people welcomed him with arms wide open, because what, he played some fucking power chords? It's like people were so desperate to hear a guitar by a big artist again that they called the first one that walked through the door their savior. But hey, it's a sick, sad world, so of course this douche canoe is famous. What do you guys think about Machine Gun Kelly? Do you think he's ever gonna grow up or get better, or do you still really enjoy him now? Personally, I just think he's been pulling these stunts way too long for actual change to happen, but I would love to be proven wrong. For now, you can check out my review of his pop punk album over here, or you can tap here to see me react to his Spotify podcast that kinda went viral. Other than that, all of my socials are in the description down below, and I'll be back soon with more on Beyond ARTV.